may never wear foundation again. This is giving orange on me. Oh. I get it now. I mentioned recently that I wanted to explore more mid-range beauty brands this year, and mostly I want to see how these types of brands balance quality versus price. Are they worth spending the extra money over drugstore options, and do they deliver high-end performance at less than prestige prices? So I talked about this in a video a few months back, and a lot of you recommended that I try Tower 28 makeup. Tower 28 is one of the more affordable brands at Sephora. So they have full-size products starting at $15 and mini sizes starting at $12. And the brand was kind enough to send me some of their most popular products to test out, although I did end up going to Sephora and buying one with my own money. So let's see if it's all worth the hype. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. This channel is dedicated to budget beauty. If that sounds like your vibe, hit subscribe. So while I do the rest of my makeup, I'm gonna be wearing one of their Lip Softie lip treatments. This is a hybrid between lip mask and sheer lip tint. This is the shade Dulce de Leche. It is $16 and it has shea butter, jojoba oil, and lysine. So this is the nude shade of this line. Oh, I like that. First of all, it smells amazing and it does have food grade flavor. So, okay, maybe they meant food grade fragrance. Hold on. It says made with food grade flavor to avoid further drying out lips, but it doesn't really taste like anything. It definitely has a really nice vanilla smell to it though. I really like that this is on the thinner side. So you can wear this as like a daily lip gloss while getting that lip mask treatment, and it's not gonna be goopy. Now, before we get further into the products, I do want to give a background on Tower 28. So this is a brand with products specifically designed for sensitive skin. They're dermatologist approved and they are certified clean with Sephora, Credo, and Goop. The word clean in beauty marketing is kind of just that. It's marketing because there is no one universal standard for what a brand needs to meet to be considered clean. But just if we're going by, popular standards, I wanted to mention it. It's also an AAPI owned brand founded by Amy Liu, who has eczema herself. So she really designed this brand around the frustrations that she had with finding fun and trendy products that wouldn't irritate her skin. They also use recycled plastic for their packaging and they are vegan and cruelty free. Okay, the next product that I have to try from Tower 28 is probably one of their most hyped products. At least I've heard a lot of my friends raving about it. This is their Swipe Serum Concealer. This is supposed to be a very natural looking concealer with medium buildable coverage. There is hyaluronic acid in the formula to hydrate the skin. It also has something called Centella asiatica leaf extract, which is supposed to soothe and calm the skin, as well as lysine to help produce collagen and repair dry skin. But the claim that this concealer makes that really piqued my interest is that it won't cling to dry patches, which is what I need. That's one of the main reasons why I often feel like I can't get away with just wearing concealer without foundation, because with it clinging on to texture and dryness, I feel like it ends up accentuating what I'm trying to cover. So let's see if this lives up to that claim. So I think today I am gonna use this all over the face without foundation. Now the brand did send me a tube of this. They sent me shade number 8 in LBC. They describe it as a medium shade with warm peachy undertones. And I did open this up ahead of filming to swatch it to make sure that it would work. It's so close, but it's a smidge too peachy. So I did go to Sephora and purchase another shade with my own money. I grabbed the shade 6, which is called IE, and they describe this as a medium shade with light neutral undertones. Yeah, I think that's gonna work better. Worst case scenario, we can mix them. Okay, my darkest blemishes are on this side. They're sort of a mix between blemish and scab because I picked them. So I really am gonna be putting this to the test about whether or not it clings to dry patches and skin texture overall. It is a very thin formula for how much coverage I'm seeing just swiped on. We'll see what happens once I start blending it out. It's really not too creamy, which I think hopefully will actually help it blend into the skin to be seamless without covering with foundation. Sometimes when a concealer is too creamy, it ends up being hard to wear by itself unless you just put it everywhere. I really wanna see if I can spot conceal with this without swiping it all over my face. I say as there's concealer all over my face, but I'm only covering what I need covered. Apparently my whole face. Well, you can already see a little bit of how this is drying down a bit deeper because I just did these swipes under my eyes and the swipe on my nose is already a little bit darker. Okay, this is blending pretty well. I think this shade's okay. Don't ask me what sponge I'm using. I think I got this in like an advent calendar. It's just like a tiny detail sponge. You know, this coverage is really impressive for how lightweight this product feels. I'm a little taken aback. I feel like I'm getting similar coverage as like my LA Girl concealer, which if you've tried it, that's a very creamy concealer. It blends beautifully, but it's creamy. This feels like nothing on my face, but the coverage is covering. There are a few spots that I want to add just a little more, but this is, you know, one layer very specifically placed, and I feel like it's blended into my skin so well that you really can't see where there's concealer versus where there's not, because there are parts of my face right now that do not have concealer, and there are no lines of demarcation, like you can't see borders. I have like a little broken blood vessel under my skin on my nose that looks red. Oh, I didn't hit this outer jaw area. Yeah, I would say this is more to the tune of medium full coverage. I mean, I know they say medium buildable, certainly enough for me to feel almost like I have foundation on visually. And here's what it looks like over those two scabby blemishes up close. There's one here and here. And I know that there is like dry, kind of flaky skin around it. You wouldn't be able to tell. This is also a silicone-free concealer, and it has completely blurred my pores on my nostrils. So I'm convinced my skin looks really even. There's some natural radiance coming through that looks gorgeous. I may never wear foundation again. I am that impressed, but I am curious to see how it will wear throughout the day, because if it doesn't stay looking like this, I might not be as generous to say that it's worth the $22, because, you know, that's up there for just a concealer, but being able to achieve the same evenness as foundation with so much less product does count for something. Next, let's test out the Tower 28 Sculptino Cream Contour. This is $20. I have the shade Getty. Now, they call this a foolproof cream contour. They do not call it a bronzer, FYI. They say it has an easy to blend texture in neutral undertones. They claim that these contours have neutral undertones. This very much intrigues me because y'all know, especially recently, I feel like I've been purchasing contours that end up pulling very warm on my skin tone. And, you know, undertone, there is a spectrum aspect to it. Something that looks cooler on one person will look warmer on another. There's color theory at play. So I'm very interested to see how this translates. So here's Getty. Now to me, it does look like it leans warm just compared to my skin tone. I am gonna start out by applying this with a sponge, and then we'll see if that works well. I should figure out what sponge this is because it's kind of a handy size. So in case you haven't seen the video, I did get a color analysis where I was told that I have cool tone skin. Just like we saw with the concealer though, I do feel like I lean on the more neutral end of cool. This is giving orange on me. I have such a hard time finding neutral enough bronzers or contours in general. I just remembered something. In my last video where I tried the new e.l.f. cream contour, there were a few people that said applying with a brush kind of maintained that more neutral undertone for them versus using a sponge where it warmed up. So let's try it. I mean, I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush for this. This is kind of a great all-in-one cream and liquid brush, whether you're doing blush and bronzer or your foundation. Does it look like there's a difference? Personally, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I don't think so, friends. I do not think so. What a shame. What a shame. The formula itself, though, nice. It definitely blends easily and smoothly. It feels lightweight as you blend it out. Like, the formula is great, but can we get some cooler tones? Another thing a lot of people mentioned in the comments of that e.l.f. video was that with a lot of contour product lines, the lighter shades pull cooler, and then once you get into the medium and deep shades, they're warm. And it's like, why? What are the light, medium to deep girlies supposed to use to get the cool contour? You know, in the swatches, Getty does look a bit more neutral than it does on me. I don't know. Maybe I just have a really weird, unique undertone. Yeah, Getty is described as light, medium, neutral undertones. Not on me, on this model for sure. Not on me. I can see myself using this as a bronzer in the summer, and that's about it. This next product from Tower 28 is probably the one I'm most curious about. This is their OneLiner. This is a multi-use pencil that can be used on the eyes, the cheeks, and the lips. Now we'll see what we can do in terms of trying the application all 3 ways, because they did send me a pretty deep brown shade. This is the shade Draw Me. Oh yeah. That's gonna be more of a contour than the Sculptino on me. So this is made with shea butter and marula oil, and it does have a very creamy, glidey formula, very pigmented. And this is $15. Now for a 3-in-1 product, I feel like that could be justified if it looks good all 3 ways. Let me see how blendable this is before I decide like how to use it. Ooh, okay. I feel like if I hadn't let it sit as long as I did, it would blend out even more. I think I'm gonna put some on my finger. I'm just kind of like shading my finger a bit, and then tap that onto my lid in my crease and outer corner as sort of like a shadow stick vibe. Okay, that's working. That's working. I'm able to diffuse it as eyeshadow really easily. And I do want to point out that, you know, there have been social media trends where people do their eyes, their face, their lips with one product, whether it be lipstick or a lip liner. You can do that and get a really pretty look. However, most lip products aren't necessarily tested for eye safety if that's not the way that they're supposed to be used. So it's generally not recommended, especially for sensitive skin and sensitive eyes. So having a product specifically designed to be safe everywhere is handy. And a tight line with it. Yeah, it's applying to the waterline really nicely. I don't think it makes any claims in terms of being water resistant or anything. And then I'll just do a small smoky kitten wing with it. It blends out really nicely. What I kind of want to do is add a little bit on my finger again and put it like right at the hollow of my cheek and see if I can't create like a contour with it. Wait, I think I'm onto something here. Why does that look so much better? Okay, cool. This worked out. Applying it like this is fine. I almost wish that it was more of a chubby pencil versus a thinner pencil like this, although then I guess you wouldn't be able to get the lip liner aspect without a brush. Okay, I'm gonna add some to my nose. This is so funny that this ended up being a better contour shade for me than the actual contour product. I'm gonna clean up the cheeks a little bit with more concealer since I spread out the blend slightly. Okay, sculpted. Yeah, that works. All right, so this next product, I would be very surprised if you have not seen all over social media. Hold that thought. While we're working around the eyes though, I do want to point out that I'm getting a little bit of that concealer creasing. Mind you, I did not set it at all, and typically I do set the concealer under my eyes because I have deeper creases. So I'm just gonna blend that out with my finger and put a little bit of powder, just super lightly. Finally trying the Tower 28 MakeWaves Mascara. This is supposed to be one of the best options for sensitive eyes. It's supposed to volumize, lengthen, and define for amped up, natural looking lashes. This is also water resistant and smudge free, and also contact lens safe. So let's see how much I can build it up. So this does have a comb wand that is curved, and typically curved wands do really well at lifting my lashes. I have very short and straight lashes. 2 things I need this mascara to do for $20 a tube is not flake and hold my lift and curl. The bar is low, but it's there because I do feel like generally when you're talking about splurging versus saving on certain makeup products, mascara is always one that time and time again we've proven that drugstore mascara performs just as well as high-end, and especially as a product that expires the quickest, that you should be replacing the most. Anything over 15 is kind of like, even though there are a lot of drugstore mascaras now that are at about the $15 mark because of price raises across the board, but I'm really liking how this is building up. I'm definitely seeing length, but right now what's mostly impressing me is the separation and how like fluffy my lashes are looking. It seems like a pretty lightweight formula as well. It doesn't look super wet on my lashes, which hopefully means it won't weigh them down. Okay, so here's a little bit more of a natural application, and I love this. I mean, I still have so much curl. My lashes look fanned out and fluffy. I do want to build it up a little bit more though, and I will be removing that little speck of mascara once it's dry. Okay, it's layering up with no clumps so far. I don't want to speak too soon, but kind of impressed. I feel like I can just keep going and going. It's just building really well. I feel like I have falsies on at this point. Oh, I get it now. Oh, that would absolutely replace falsies for me for like night out plans. Well, here's the before and after. No clumps, a lot of lift, natural looking volume, definitely not chunky at all. Really pretty fanned out separation, but will it flake? I would be very hard pressed to spend $20 regularly on a mascara unless it looked like this all day without flaking or smudging or drooping. Ow. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing happened. I get so many comments every time I show myself applying mascara saying like, you doing your mascara in videos now makes me nervous because of when I damaged my cornea. It was just a false alarm. Got a little too close to the root there. I'm gonna add a little bit of the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, just since we didn't really add proper blush and highlight over the bronzer and pencil. Sorry, not bronzer, contour. But I think this will just kind of tie the face together since I don't really want to add blush on top of everything. I do think that one pencil would be great for traveling, especially in either this brown shade where you can get that contour out of it or a more rosy shade. I am gonna go back in with it for my lips. Now, I think I'm gonna smudge it out because this is a pretty deep brown for my lips. Although it would make for a great lip combo with like a red for a cherry cola vibe or whatever they're calling it now. You know, they always like rename these makeup trends. So like brown and red was cherry cola for a bit, or chocolate covered strawberry lips. Like, it's gotten out of hand. I really like this formula. It glides on so well. I'm gonna blend it out just a bit. Oh, I forgot to wipe off the lip mask. I mean, it feels like it's sunken in. Like there's not a layer of a gloss on top of my lips anymore, so I think we're okay. Being so honest with you, I would wear this pencil on my lips like this, just kind of smudgy, blended out without anything on top. I think that's a cool look. But I do have one more product to add to the face. Finishing off the look with the Tower 28 ShineOn Lip Jelly. So there are two different versions of their lip jellies with different shades within each version. They have the glossy version and the milky version. This is the milky version in the shade Almond. I'm pretty sure the glossy version is like sheerer, I guess, and the milky version is more of like a milky pigmentation. So this is supposed to give the shine of a gloss with the comfort of a balm. It has 5 nourishing oils in the formula. So let's see how it looks just bare, since I'll be putting it over liner. Oh wow, that's a good amount of pigmentation. Still a bit sheer, but you can definitely see what they mean when they say milky. And I feel like the shade pairs really well with this liner color. Yeah, that's really pretty. So this is $16 by itself. Not sticky at all. It feels very nourishing on the lips. It feels sort of like a lip oil. I feel like that's the best way to describe this. You can buy this though in a set with the lip liner. It's called their Line and Shine Duo, and these two come together as their chocolate brown duo. Both of them together cost $30 instead of $16 and $15 respectively. I'm just gonna spritz a little of my Milani Make It Last setting spray on top. Right off the bat, trying Tower 28 for the first time, there are 3 products that are definitely standing out as the ones that I am most impressed with to start. The first one being the concealer. No surprise there. I am very impressed with the overall coverage and evenness with so little product. Second being the mascara. I love the look, but really it's gonna depend on how it looks throughout the day, because I've definitely called a mascara too soon, being like, this is the best, and then it's just a mess at the end of the day. And last, the OneLiner. I can see this being a really essential essential travel makeup item because of how well it performs all over the face and the fact that it is actually eye safe and lip safe and face safe for sensitive skin. I think that's a really, really cool innovation. But like I said, the most important thing is how they perform throughout the day, so I will check back in with you a little later. Here is the current time. I'm not just showing you a picture of my cat yawning. I'm back and it's been about 9-ish hours if we want to round up a bit. And let me zoom you in because I have a lot of thoughts. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. The Tower 28 Serum Concealer, worth it. This is something that I can see myself repurchasing over and over again, wearing by itself. Definitely a travel essential when I want more light makeup when I'm on the go. Now I am pretty shiny on my forehead, which makes sense. I have combo skin. My T-zone gets much oilier than the rest of my face, which I actually consider dry. But despite that, the concealer did not break up or separate in this area at all, and it did not separate on my nose. That's huge, especially because I didn't really use a proper primer. Like I prepped with toner and then I used the setting spray, but it's not even separating on my nostril, which is usually the first place I see concealer or foundation separate from oiliness. The coverage is intact and my pores are still blurred. Highly, highly impressed with how this held up against oil. And the rest of my face still looks great too. I mean, there's literally not the slightest bit of separation or breakdown or patchiness, even in my dry areas, which again, another issue I often run into with concealers is that throughout the day, they start kind of settling around my texture and dryness. And this is kind of the area, my lower jaw and my chin, that I see that happening often. And it is still smooth. It is still 100% covered. I'm gonna be reaching for this a lot, and it still feels lightweight on the skin. It didn't end up looking cakey anywhere. It's not in any of my expression lines. Like this is absolutely worth the $22 price tag. And really just a little bit of a blot helps with that shine, and it's like, I'm good to go. I could wear this for another few hours if I needed to. Now, even though I was disappointed in the shade of Sculptino cream contour that I got, which was Getty, the formula's good. I mean, you can still see it. It doesn't look like it has faded at all. It still looks smooth. Again, no separating. I just wish it hadn't pulled so orange on me. I think that this is a product that they could absolutely do with expanding the shade range, and they'd have gold. Now let's talk about the eyes. I did realize that I made a mistake and I did not put on eyeshadow primer. So I'm not gonna judge the eyeliner too harshly, the eyeliner and eyeshadow that I did with the OneLiner. You can definitely still see the smoky liner, but my eyelids are another part of my face that get pretty darn oily, and I do feel like it smudged a little bit under my lower lash line. I mean, to be honest, it could be a lot worse, but I have a feeling that this will perform a lot more solidly over an eyeshadow primer. It is still in my eye crease and in the outer corner. It's still blended out. I see it, so it really hasn't faded all that much, and because I kind of kept it out of the inner corner, I'm not seeing any creasing. Like, it's still going strong, it's there. As for my lips, it definitely did not hang in there. However, I really do think that it has to do with using this in conjunction with the lip jelly, because this is an oil-based product, and about halfway through my day, I noticed that, you know, as I'm talking and drinking and rubbing my lips together, it did start to smear the liner outside of my lip lines. I'm pretty sure the oils in this product broke down the pencil formula, which is interesting that they sell them together as a set and advertise them to work together. And I mean, they were really beautiful together, but you just kind of have to be careful of that. And that is something that I've noticed with other brands as well, especially with the rise in popularity of lip oils. When you try to use them in a lip combo, it can be tricky because the oil tends to break down other makeup. And at the end of the day, there is nothing left on my lips, not even a little bit of liner. But I do want to retest this on its own, kind of like how I had it before I put on the lip jelly, because I thought that was really pretty and it'd be interesting to see how it lasts just by itself. But don't mind this, I chew on my lips when I'm anxious and I caught a piece of dry skin earlier. Just ignore it. Okay, but what about this mascara though? My lashes still look incredible. The lift and curl has stayed completely intact and they just look so freaking good. But I did layer up this mascara a lot. I was pushing it to its limits. I will own that. So my lashes have been touching my brow bone, and typically that will cause a little bit of flaking. I recognize that because that happens with other formulas where when I don't layer it up that much, where, you know, my lashes are making contact, then I don't have a problem flaking. Today I had a little bit of a problem flaking. I have a few small flakes on my lid from my lashes hitting my brow bone, some on my brow bone. You can see a few black specks on my cheeks and a few on this side as well. It's not crazy, but it is there. So I'm open to trying again. I'm not going to completely write off this mascara yet because the appearance of my lashes is still so impressive. But because it is a $20 mascara, I am apprehensive to say whether it's worth it over a drugstore option yet, unless like the checkboxes that are ticked for you do have to do with like the sensitive, eye-friendly, and clean formula. And I will say I have more lift left at the end of the day than I think I get with the L'Oreal Panorama mascara, which is my favorite drugstore mascara that does go for about $15. But that one doesn't flake on me and it doesn't smudge on me, even the non-waterproof version. So that's kind of what I'm comparing it to. So I think this mascara is definitely going to be saved for one of my update review videos after I've tested something for a little bit longer, and I'll let you know whether I can kind of get it to work for me, because it's really just that slight flaking that is keeping me on the fence. So I want to know, factoring everything in from their sensitive skin safe formulas to how they actually performed, do you feel like Tower 28 makeup is worth the extra money over drugstore options? And if you have any other favorite products from Tower 28 that you think I should try, let me know what those are. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you want to keep watching, join me over in this video next where I do a full face of new e.l.f. makeup. I'll see you over there. Bye.